Kia ora, Year 9. In this video, I'm going to start us off with the work we're going to do this week in lockdown on decimals, fractions, and percentages. So we're going to do a bunch of different conversions between those three forms of writing a number. And I'm going to start off with how to convert from decimals to fractions, because it follows on from what we did last week, which was really all about place value. So let's take a look yet again at how my place value works. We've got the decimal point here, and we're going to be mainly focused today on numbers that are smaller than 1. So we're working over here with tenths, hundreds, thousands, and so on. So you can see that already we're comfortable with the idea that if we've got a number that is like this, 0.04, that means 4 out of 100. So if you understand place value, it's pretty easy to see that if I want to convert from a decimal to a fraction, I'm going to use this idea directly. So 0.04 is going to be written as 4 out of 100. So the first step that we're doing there is we're looking at the furthest place value column over, right? So there are 4 hundreds. There's nothing in the tenths column. We're not going to worry about that. We're not going to write it as something out of 1,000. So we've done step 1, right? We've written it as a fraction using place value. But now we have to simplify it. So in this video, I'm only going to do ones where the simplification is reasonably obvious. In this case, you can see these are common factor. And the common factor here, the highest common factor here is 4. So if you spot that straight away, we can go straight to 1 over 25. Now, if you're going really slowly with your simplification and your basic facts, then we could go more slowly. We could divide the top and bottom by 2 and get 2 over 50, and then we could do it again. Right? But nearly all of you should be noticing that we've got 4 as a factor for both of those numbers. So that's our first example. I'm going to work through 7 now, and that's going to be how we do each one. We're going to look at the place value to get the denominator, and then we're going to simplify if we have to. Okay, so this first one, 0.03, is very similar to the last one. The 3 means 300ths because it's in that place value column. So we're going to write it as 3 out of 100, and we can't simplify that because this number here is a prime. So we're done. Right, I'm going to put the next 3 up on the screen. I want you to pause the video and have a go at each of those, thinking about whether you need to simplify or not. Okay, so question number 2, we're looking here, and this 9 is in the thousandths column. Okay, so that equals 9 over 1,000. Now remember from the powers of 10 video that here we've got 3 zeros. We're 1,000th and we're 3 columns over. So in this case, the factors of 9 are just 1, 3, and 9. 3 and 9 are not factors of 1,000, so we can't go any further. So that's my final answer. For the next one, 0.02, the furthest column over is the hundredths. So my denominator is going to be 100, and I've got 2 in the numerator. And I can simplify that to 1/50th, right? So I'm dividing the numerator by 2, and I'm dividing the denominator by 2. If you've forgotten how to simplify fractions and you want some work on that, please just shoot me an email and I can set you some, or go through it in a Google Meet. This next one, 1.02, is a bit different, right? Because this time we haven't just got one decimal place worth of stuff, but we're still most interested in which one is in the smallest place value column. So here we're going to have something divided by 100. Now we've got 200ths here, nothing to worry about here, and here we've got one whole number. So that one whole number is 100 hundredths, and this 2 is 200ths. So we're going to have 102 over 100. And we can simplify that to 51 over 50. And that's as far as that one goes. Right, here are the next 3. Okay, so in this one here, 1.25, we look at the smallest column and we see that it's the hundredths column. So 125 divided by 100 is my fraction. And now I can simplify that quite a lot because I've got a common factor here and here of 25. So this one equals 5 over 4. And as before, you could do that more slowly if you need to, right? So the first thing we can spot is that both of these have 5 as a factor. 5 watts are 125, 5 times 25. 5 watts are 100, 5 20s. And then we can do it again. We can see 5 is a factor of both of these. 5 watts are 25, 5 5s. 5 watts are 20, 5 4s. So we get to the same place. It's nicer if you can get efficient at those though and quickly spot the highest common factor. Okay, now on to the last two. Right, number 6, actually easier than number 5. Look at our furthest over column. This is the hundredths column. So we're going to have 18 over 100, and we can simplify that by dividing by 2. So we get 9 over 50. And then the last question, 0.084, has the smallest place value column being 1000. So we're going to write this one as something over 1000, and it's going to be 84 over 1000. So let's look at what our highest common factor is in here. Well, 4 goes into 84, and 4 also goes into 1000. So our answer is going to be 21 over 250. Now we have to look at this again and ask if we can do it again. And if you're not sure about this, I'm going to do another video on harder ones for simplifying. We go back to all the stuff we did at the start of the year where we can look at factor trees. So 21 has 3 and 7 as factors. And they are also prime factors. And neither of those is a factor of 250. So in this case, my final answer for this one will be 21 over 250. So that's all for now. I'm going to set you an interactive worksheet for you to practice this heaps, and then I'll go on to some of the harder skills later on today. Thanks for watching.